What's up? Got a Kubey. You know I love some Kubeys, man. This is a KU328I, I believe, 14C28N JG10. I don't know what all that means, but man, let's get it out and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. Okay. Yeah, this has been here a while, and I'm glad I'm taking a look at this because I'm curious. There's a premium version of this knife, and I've been looking at it, but the whole time I've been going, well, I probably should get a feel for the budget version before I go picking up the high-end version, because what if I hate the knife? And so, yeah, I'm glad to be checking it in, so now I can try to make a decision on the high-end version. Because, yeah, if I don't like it, why would I get the high-end version? I mean, I can tell you that the G10 on this is wonderful. Wonderful texture, and they have created some angles here that I can feel on this knife that make this thing feel wonderful. Oh, careful. That bandage got me fumbling around, man. Goofy. I mean, what's a steel on this thing? And it's 14C28N, and it's a Jelly Jerry design. I believe this is the Atlas. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but yeah, I think this is the Atlas. And there is a titanium version that I've been eyeballing that I've been thinking, man, maybe I should pick that one up. But the whole time I was like, well, I know I got a budget one around here somewhere. So I need to break it out and run it and see what I think. I mean, interesting. Yeah, I'm not letting the cat out of the bag, am I? Man, let's get in this thing. I can tell you that the action on this runs, I mean, it's a good Kubey. And a mediocre Kubey is a good Kubey, you know? They do such a nice job. I mean, if you don't have a Kubey, I mean, I gotta tell you, I just encourage it. I mean, if you're not sure which one, drop in the comments and go, hey man, for my first Kubey, which one would you recommend? And, you know, I'm not the only one on the channel that's down on Kubeys. So, you know, if somebody drops that comment, everybody, you know, I mean, be cool. Just drop your favorite Kubey. You know, if like you were buying the first one, which one would give you the best representation of Kubeys, in your opinion? I mean, maybe not your favorite, but because a favorite one might be a little quirky or something, you know, but it's still your favorite. But the one that, you know, if you were trying to turn somebody on to the Kubey brand, which one would it be? I'm going to go ahead and state in this video which one I think is mine. Which one's my Kubey. And if you watch the channel anytime in the last 3 months, you already know what my favorite one is. Because the thing's still in my pocket. Yeah, it's still there. Now, I have carried a few other knives recently, and I think it may be coming to a point where something's going to knock it out of my pocket finally. Like, I only because I think I'm in a rut. The knife is so good, but I keep carrying the same knife, so I feel like I'm in a rut. Like I need a new girlfriend. You know what I mean? Makes sense. Sometimes you gotta change up. No matter how much you like a particular food, it's like, oh, I could eat that every day. Well, until you eat it every day, you eat it, 3 days in a row, and then it's like, yeah, I can't eat that no more. Well, it's my favorite's slowly coming to that, I believe. I'm gonna go cage up on these bearings, and I'm trying to think if I'm kind of stalling. I'm not sure if my favorite would be the best Kubey, entry level Kubey for somebody. Hey, if you're gonna get a Kubey, jump off here. Um, so I'm kind of thinking that through. Like, would that be the one that I recommend to somebody? I think I know what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm gonna pick. There's two that I'm gonna pick. There's a large one, and then there's a more reasonable Kubey that that's not so large, because I think my number one Kubey's a pretty big knife. Let's check that action. Ugh. Stupid, man. Guillotine. Yeah, wonderful. I mean, and simple. Let's check that action. Guillotine. So smooth. Typical Kubey action. I mean, I've had like 1 out of 20 Kubey models where the action was I kind of went, meh, something's not quite right, and I had to tune it and mess with it. And did I get it right? I did. But I've had a few that, very few. But this is typical, stunning, wonderful action here. And so on this knife, back flipper, thumb flick, Spidey flick, it's A-level action. It's just so good. Yeah, wonderful. Let's move on to ergonomics. I mean, even in the action category, this is lowered, and the lock bar's got that jimping on it. It's raised up. Very intuitive to just reach across that knife right there and catch that lock bar. Yeah, very simple. Drop shut. Let's talk about ergonomics. So wonderful dig in with the fingers behind the flipper tab, even with that jimping, and then the jimping on the spine of the knife. It's basically combat jimping. If I press down in that with my thumb, there's no way to get past it. Like, I'm going to rip my skin to go forward of that jimping. So very confident grip. Not so confident, very confident. This grip goes up over confident towards very confident. Really locked in here. Reverse grip is even better. Grabbing this knife this way, I'm even more locked in, capping it with my thumb. Not so much this way. Yeah, wonderful ergonomics. Now, I will say, a hard grip, like really gripping hard here, I do find the pocket clip here. And it's only because it's deep carry and the knife's a little short. I get a full 4-finger grip, but that deep carry clip finds its way right onto the heel of my hand. So I do feel it that way. Would it cause me to not cut with this after a while? I don't think so. I notice it there, but it's not horrible. And if I just adjust a little bit, I can move it more towards this seam in my hand, this crease, and then it kind of goes away. Yeah, so it's got great ergonomics, very comfortable. It does have this choke up capability here, to try to get more leverage down. But me personally, I think I could match it close enough to be here and keep my fingers from, being close to that blade. Very slicey. Um, it's got a tip, but it's really not for forward facing work. Like, that's not piercing the box at all. I mean, it is denting it pretty good now that I'm seeing it. I mean, could you go forward with it? You could. Yeah, I mean, the blade shape all in itself kind of takes it out of being a self defense weapon, in my opinion, for me. Now, maybe you could go there. I mean, as far as a work knife, EDC knife, yeah, I think this thing checks a lot of boxes in those categories. Let's, speaking of check, let's check the pocket clip. And of course, knowing Kubey pocket clips, I already know this thing's going to be deep carry. Knife disappears. Definitely the girth and the expanse of that knife is hidden in there. Wonderful tension. I mean, it's locked in. Yeah. And my spot. Yeah. Great pocket clip. Such a simple design. And it just, whenever I run on a clip like this, it always makes me kind of go, why do we get so fancy with pocket clips where they don't work? When these simple designs just work wonderfully. I don't need a new design if it's not going to work. Just give me old school, man. Let's check it for safety. See if I can make blade contact here. Nope. And I am seeing all that skeletonizing in there. I don't think I made mention of it, but they have really chopped up those liners and then they bead blast the outside of them to kind of give it a matted, muted look to it. Of course, on this one, it's got such a nice satin blade. They probably could have left those polished up on the edges. But yeah, no blade contact through the back scale. The tip is way recessed, so the clip is excellent, the tip's good, and I'm confident to handle this knife in any way when it's closed and not run the risk of cutting myself on the blade. This knife's safe when it's closed. Yeah, very nice. Wonder if that 14C is as sharp as it looks. Tall, flat grind. Yeah, crazy sharp. Crazy. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wonderful job, Kubey. So, Kubey Atlas, how much are they? We already know where. It's just how much. Okay, so as this sits, White Mountain Knives, 14C. It's got this JG10. There's several models like White Mountain Knives with this G10, that 14C, and they're all like $60. Well, when you put the Kubey code in the coupon section in your cart, it's going to knock off a little over 30%. It's going to bring the price of this down to like $40.50, and that's shipped, no tax. So for $40 to your door, and I find I get most things from White Mountain Knives in about 3 days. So that's not so much a plug for them, it's a plug for y'all. I mean, if you're interested in one of these Kubeys, man, that is the place to go, and make sure you use that discount code. I mean, it's 30% off, and their retail prices, like $60 on this, it's in most cases cheaper than you could find this knife anyplace else at $60. But then you strip that 30% off of it, and I mean, at $40, golly, yeah, this is a good work knife. So entry level Kubeys. Well, my favorite out of my pocket is my Bravo One. Goodness, I love this knife. Man, I just like it. It's so good in the hand, so comfortable, so capable, and wonderful. Yeah, this thing is legit. So the Kubey Bravo 1, the budget version. The high-end version it's incredible. But this version for a EDC, backup self-defense, work knife. I mean, golly, I really like this. The next one would be a Titius. I mean, man, you can't go wrong with that Titius, and you can pick the Titius up right now with the discount code, a budget version, for I think around $30 shipped. That knife is stunning. You put that Titius in hand, and then another one I really like is the Drake. I like the Drake a lot. The but there's so many that I like. There's so many. Yeah. So, anyways, this one, the Kubey Atlas, wonderful work knife, solid as a rock. Appreciate y'all watching.